Hello, dear colleagues, dear Professor Paladini. I am Dr. Günel Məmmədova from Şəki, an ancient city of the northern region of Azerbaijan. This is my country, my homeland. Dear Professor, we are glad to see you again in Azerbaijan. Maybe you would like to see beauties of my country, Şəki, someday. I work in a private hospital, Bonum Medical, as a radiologist, and the main aspect of my work is fetal examinations. Today, I want to introduce an unusual case, a pericallosal lipoma associated with choroid plexus lipomas. Patient is 34 weeks pregnancy, our first examination in our hospital. During brain examination in the transverse sections, we see solid, well-marginated hyperechoic masses. One of them is within the lateral ventricle, choroid plexus, and the second is in the midline under the posterior part of the corpus callosum. There is also a hyperechoic tubular mass within the interhemispheric fissure along posterior part of the corpus callosum. In the sagittal plane, there is hyperechoic masses seems more demonstratively. In the parasagittal plane, we see small, solid, well-marginated hyperechoic mass with within the lateral ventricle choroid plexus. Then we tilt our probe to the mid-sagittal plane, and we see corpus callosum, and we find prolonged curvilinear hyperechoic mass within the posterior part of the corpus callosum. And the second solid nodular mass under the posterior part of the corpus callosum. Then we tilt our probe up opposite parasagittal plane, and we see a third small rounded hyperechoic mass within the other lateral choroid plexus. Here, non-standard section, we see thin lipoma curving around the posterior end of the splenum, and two nodular lipomas. One of them extends to the choroid plexus, and one is in the midline under the posterior part of the corpus callosum. And coronary sections, we see all hyperechoic masses. In the both lateral vertices in the midline. So, pericallosal lipoma is a fatty tumor of the corpus callosum that can extend to the choroid areas. Incidence is very rare. The pathogenesis of pericallosal lipoma is considered to be the result of an abnormal reception of primitive meninges. Usually, this reception occurs between the 8th and 10th weeks of development. When the primitive meninge persists longer, instead of being resorbed, it differentiates into lipomatous tissue. Such lipomas may be developed in all the cerebral sterners, but they are much more frequent in the area of corpus callosum. Therefore, animals of development of corpus callosum, congenital partial agenesis, hypoplasia almost always coexist. Two morphological types of pericallosal lipoma have been described. One is the tubular nodular type, appearing around the measuring more than 2 centimeters. It is usually anterior and associated with extensive callosal and possibly frontofacial anomalies, and this type is much more common. The second type is curvilinear in diameter and usually more posterior. The corpus callosum is only mildly hypoplastic. This is a rare type of lipomas. Our case is more similar to second curvilinear type. Posterior part of our corpus callosum is dysplastic, and curvilinear mass among the posterior part of the corpus callosum, and our pericallosal lipoma extends towards the choroid plexus. Differential diagnosis. Why we decide that these hypoechoic masses is lipoma, maybe hyoid plexus papilloma or hemorrhages, teratoma, or other rare tumors. But in our case, we found all of characteristic findings of lipoma with its curvilinear and choroid plexus part. Fetal MRI imaging helps be made of the diagnosis more exact and the evolution of associated anomalies, especially on the frequent callosal anomaly. It can confirm the presence of the lipoma and also characterize the morphology of the corpus callosum. It can show the extension of lipoma in a much better than the detailed way than the conventional ultrasound. But our family didn't want to do fetal MRI imaging. They said that gestational age is too late. Our baby will be born independent of the results of fetal MRI. And we observed the pregnant. After born, we did neurosonography and brain MR of newborn baby. And we detected same pictures with intrauterine neurosonography. Here you can see curvilinear hypoechoic lipoma in the posterior part of the corpus callosum, nodular part under it. And the corner And in the corner plane, we see 3 rounded nodules. 2 of them is in the lateral ventricles choroid plexus, and one is in the midline on the posterior part of corpus callosum. Curvilinear hypoechoic part above the posterior part of corpus callosum. So it is neonatal MRI of the baby, sagittal sections. Axial sections. And we see same pictures with fetal neurosonography, newborn neurosonography, and newborn MRI. I want to make a point here. Every visit of our dear Professor Paladini to our country is a scientific holiday for us. In last year's seminar, we gained valuable new information that will not be forgotten. And this time's seminar continues the same way. One of the most important take-home messages I took from the last year's workshop was the message of true transvaginal fetal neurosonography, not fake transabdominal fetal neurosonography. This message prompted me to use the transvaginal probe more boldly on the fetuses I examined, resulting in the beautiful image you see above. I thank the dear professor for these and other mutually informative presentations. And most important, I want to thank to our dear teacher, Azir Faraj, for the endless support and opportunities he has given to his students. Our dear mentor, we are lucky because we have you. Dear colleagues, I'm grateful for your attention. Thanks. Thanks.
No, a very nice case, very well presented, and bravo. Congratulations for the imaging and for the diagnosis. It's a very rare case. So, about prognosis. Well, as she mentioned, usually in most cases the corpus callosum is not perfect in those cases, also in growth. Some of them may also have some epilepsy issues, and then it depends on the growth of the lipomas, because those in the ventricle may become obstructive if they grow during infanthood and so on. But if the further development of the brain is okay and is not syndromic, doesn't look so, the outlook would be probably good. So it occurs, we have a few of them on follow-up, and most of them are fine if there is not a major corpus callosum anomaly. So very, very nice imaging. Congratulations.
Do you know any information about baby is doing well or? She is good.
And she will be fine. We hope she will be fine. Now she's good. No any neurological problems. 2 months. 2 months. Okay. Thank you very much.